and welcome back to Core 4 Adventures. If you're new to our channel, my name is Carol.
And I'm Laura.
And we're two sisters, and we absolutely love to travel, and we love to bring you along on our trips and give you travel content, tips, and tricks every single week, every single Sunday right here on Core 4 Adventures.
So if you get something out of this video, please make sure you like it and subscribe to our channel and turn that notification bell on so you don't miss those videos.
Today we're talking travel mistakes. We've all made them, and boy, they can be some tough lessons to learn. But we're going to share with you some travel mistakes so that you can avoid them on your next trip.
So up first is not checking your passport and your IDs, especially their expiration dates. When you travel abroad, most countries and cruise lines are going to require that that passport doesn't expire for at least 6 months after you come back from the trip. So check those dates, and if you need to, get a new one ordered right away. And keep in mind that if you're not traveling abroad in the United States now, you do have to have a real ID if you're going to fly. They're not going to let you on with the regular ID. It's not hard to get. Go to your DMV, take some documents. It's birth certificate and marriage license if your name's different. It's really simple to get.
So the next thing to watch out for is overpacking and underpacking. We have been guilty of overpacking. We try our hardest. We do a spreadsheet. We really plan out what we're going to be wearing every day, what we need to take along with us. And it never fails that we seem to be the ones with the most luggage on the train or on the airplane or on the cruise. But you know what? We know ourselves, and it's okay if we are overpackers. It does make it more difficult, though, to travel, especially if you're traveling to Europe. When we went to Germany, we took a train from Munich to Wilshofen for our cruise with AMA Waterways, and we had significantly the most amount of roller bags and luggage on that train compared to everybody else. Now, on the other side, you want to make sure that you're not underpacking. Underpacking can mean that you're leaving things out that you may need. Now, most of the time, if you're traveling and you need something, you can go to the store. There are stores everywhere where you can get things that you need. But I think it's more in terms of clothes, having to re-wear the same thing over and over again, especially if you got it dirty the day before. That can just be uncomfortable. So make sure that you take enough to get you through, but not too much.
Tip number 3 is not skipping travel insurance. Carol and I would never go on a trip without travel insurance. You just never know what's going to happen. For example, when we went to the Caribbean, we had a port that had to get skipped because it was a tender port and the waves were just too big for us to get off the ship. And because we had travel insurance, we got reimbursed for that. A lot of people didn't. And it was really nice to help soften the blow of not getting to go to that port. And in 2020, right as the world shut down, Carol and Pepper were literally packed and ready to go on an epic adventure in France, in Paris, and on a river cruise. Because she booked that travel insurance, she was able to get all of her money back, and they were still able to go on that trip 2 years later after the world opened back up.
Now, another mistake that you can make is when you are doing your travel planning, not including enough of a time buffer in between connections or activities. Now, if you are flying and you have a connecting flight, you need to make sure that you have got enough time to get from your plane that's landing into the plane that's getting ready to take off. Those tight connections can be so stressful, and it really, really stinks if you miss a flight because you didn't give yourself enough time. You know, when we were in Seattle for our Alaskan cruise, another thing is that our flight was super early in the morning. So we had to get up and get off the ship really super early. And in Seattle, they have a special where you can check your bags from the cruise line and they take them to the airport and you just pick them up when you land in your home airport. We weren't able to take advantage of that because our flight was so dang early. So that was a lesson that we learned, is to give yourself a lot of time in between the travel activities or even activities that you've got booked for your itinerary so that you're not rushing from thing to thing.
The next travel tip is not ignoring local holidays or events. When it's a holiday, there are a lot of things that might be closed and there might not be as many things for you to be able to do. But if it's an event, it may be super crowded. Think going to Paris during the Olympics. You're going to see Paris, but everybody else is there for the Olympics. That city swelled to 2 to 3 times its normal size. And if you're going to go to Germany and you want to go during Oktoberfest, that's great. But if you just want to go see Munich, you probably don't want to go during Oktoberfest because it is mayhem.
Another travel mistake that you need to avoid is not notifying your bank or your credit cards that you're traveling. This has happened to us before where we forgot to notify our bank. You're going through an airport in a different city. You go to use your card and it is declined because they think it's fraud. It's really easy to notify your bank, or you can get a credit card that doesn't require you to do that. I'm not promoting this, but I use the Capital One Venture card and it is meant for travel. So I never have to notify them that I'm out traveling, but I do need to notify my bank if I need to use my debit card. And I do both because I just want to be safe when I'm out and traveling.
I have no idea how many times I've been sitting in our home airport about to get on a flight and I realized that I haven't notified my bank that we're traveling. And that's a really awkward place for you to have to call and take care of that. And I always worry that someone can skim my information a whole lot easier because I'm having to verify my bank account to my bank so they don't shut down my card at the next airport.
Yeah, just something to watch out for. Make sure you don't forget to do that.
And another travel mistake that a lot of people do is not figuring out the transportation before you get there. You need to look at what the local transportation is, how you're going to get from the airport, how you're going to get around when you're in the cities that you go to. Is there a bus system? Are there taxis? What kind of rideshare programs do they have? Do they have Uber? Do they have Lyft? Other countries have things like Grab. You want to make sure that you know what it is. Download that app and get an account set up before you go. So you're not trying to do it in a foreign country when the stress levels are high and you're trying to get somewhere.
The next travel mistake is either over planning or under planning. Now, I would say that we are notorious over planners. We just think that we're going out on a trip and we want to cram as much stuff into that itinerary as possible. In fact, we ran into this when we were in New York City earlier this year. The first day it was go, 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 and we were so tired by the end of the day. We revised our itinerary for day 2 and we cut some things off of it. We were going to go to the Guggenheim and we decided to skip it because we were like, we need to slow down. We need to enjoy this a little bit more. And so don't overpack your itinerary. But on the other hand, have a little bit of an idea of what you want to get done and do some pre-planning, because if there's something that you really want to do, like if you're going to Paris and you really want to go to the Louvre, you need to get that ticket in advance. If you're just flying by the seat of your pants and you get there and they're all sold out, you're going to be pretty bummed that you didn't get to do the thing that you really wanted to do.
And make sure you check the entry requirements and visa requirements for any country that you're going to early enough. Some countries require that you get those visas within a certain time frame, and if you wait too long, they're just not going to let you in. Some countries also require that you have onward travel documented and proof of it for them before you get there. So even if you are planning on going open-endedly, some people will just get a ticket to get out of the country that's refundable or transferable so that they can get in.
And don't forget that even if you're not going to the UK, but you're just flying through the UK right now, you do have to have a special permit and you have to pay for that to go, even if you're just changing planes there. So make sure you do your research ahead of time so you don't get surprised. Another travel mistake is forgetting about time zones and not planning for jet lag. Jet lag can really be a bummer on a trip. So some of the advice that we have is think about when you're traveling. We like to do overnight flights to kind of combat the jet lag, or go easy on the first day to give yourself some grace of being able to sleep in a little bit longer or take a nap in the afternoon. Don't plan a lot of stuff for that very first day or you're going to be exhausted because you've got the time zones and the jet lag and everything that you're dealing with. And if you're like us and you like to cruise, it is really important to understand what ship time is, because ship time can change and it can actually be different from the time that is in the port, and the ship goes by ship time.
Yeah, you'd never want to miss your cruise because you think it's only 6 p.m., but it was 7 p.m. on the ship. The next mistake is not backing up your important documents. Make sure that you get digital copies and put them either on your cloud or in your phone. I like to leave a paper copy at home in a secure location that I can tell someone trusted to go get for me if I need it in a pinch. This is super important. If you get all of your documents stolen, you need to be able to prove who you are.
Yeah, when we were in Paris, Pepper and I, he lost his wallet and we had printouts. I made copies of all of the cards in his wallet ahead of time, so we were able to access the numbers to call and get those cards canceled, and we didn't lose any money. We just lost his wallet, which was really no big deal. So our final travel mistake to share with you today is ignoring seasonal weather patterns. You need to make sure that when you are researching where you are going to, that you're taking into consideration more than just the average temperature for the time that you're going, but also some things that you need to watch out for, like is it a rainy season? Is it going to be really cold when you're going? Is it going to be really hot? Or maybe there's a lot of mosquitoes that you need to watch out for. Do that research in advance. When we went to Puerto Rico, we were so excited to go on the Bio Bay tour at night, where we were going to go out on a boat and see the bioluminescent bay. And it rained so hard, the whole tour was canceled, but we had to sit in the car with sheets of rain coming in off of the ocean until the tour company actually canceled it. And that was actually one of our funniest memories. I would have to say that. But if we'd done our research, maybe we would have been more prepared for that in advance.
Maybe we wouldn't have gone to Puerto Rico at the beginning of hurricane season and thought that we could take a boat ride out into the bay.
It was still a great trip.
So to wrap things up, everybody makes travel mistakes. Don't be too hard on yourself. Learn from your mistakes. Hopefully what we've taught you here today is going to help so that you don't make the same mistakes we've made in the past. But more importantly, make sure to be patient and have a good sense of humor. You're still on vacation. It's still going to be a lot of fun. It's a little bit stressful when these mistakes happen, but you can get past it and still have a great trip.
Now, have you made any travel mistakes that we didn't mention today? We'd love to hear about them, so drop us a note in the comments below. And if you liked this video, please give us a thumbs up. That really helps our channel out. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss anything from Core 4 Adventures. Thanks so much for spending time with us today. We will catch you next time right here. Bye!